But somehow, some way, it's never enough for some people out there. I understand. I would advise you to get over it or buckle up, because I'm not going away. This is my show. I will say what I feel and I will do what I want. It doesn't mean I'm going to be insensitive. It doesn't mean that I don't care about our community. A matter of fact, most of the trouble I get in is because I care about our community.
Everyone, this is Stephen A. Smith's, quote, apology video for the comments he made about Jasmine Crockett. It was egotistical, to say the least.
I asked a question. I get it now with Trump feeding into that nonsense, giving him fodder or ammunition to continue to go out there and talk about our black women that way. I got it. I don't like that at all. I don't want to be associated with nothing like that. But I'm going to be me. I'm going to call it like I see it. I can look Jasmine Crockett in the face and say, I'm sorry for any kind of noise I caused in your direction. Because she is accomplished and she is smart and she does have an incredible challenge working in this political climate on Capitol Hill. But we also need to be able to ask her questions. Just like we would ask Kamala Harris questions. Just like we would ask AOC questions. Just like we would ask Gavin Newsom questions. Just like we would ask Chuck Schumer questions or anybody else that comes with it.
But dude, you weren't just asking questions. That's why you received such fierce opposition to your commentary. This shows you still do not grasp it.
I want to help. I'm not trying to hurt. And I think being quiet and saying nothing and not challenging the strategy that's been employed hurts us.
And thus,
the point I'm making here is real simple, Stephen A. You literally don't know anything about Congress. You know nothing about how the House works. You know about basketball, NFL, all sort of stuff like that. You don't know anything about this. And so here's why you get criticized. Because you pop off not knowing what you're talking about. And so you're trying to tell her how she needs to work with Trump when she doesn't work with Trump. In fact, she doesn't even meet with Trump, Stephen A. Trump meets with Democratic congressional leaders. Who is that? House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer. That's who deals with Trump. They deal with leadership. So if you're going to criticize Jasmine Crockett for her tone and how she's not doing her job, are you going to tell your audience on Sirius XM and when you go on News Nation and when you go on CNN and all the rest of these places, are you going to tell them what she actually accomplished? This is the problem. Stephen A., you make it easy for people to criticize you. But bro, you gotta get your facts straight. And you're popping off and running your mouth and none of your facts are straight. And that's what makes you look silly. And see, had you had your facts straight, I would not have had to do this segment. Because I would have had nothing to work with. But you exposed yourself for your lack of political knowledge.
Roland Martin went in on him.
And I want to say that if certain publications and people are retweeting you and agreeing with you and saying, now he's found the way, you're doing something wrong. A lot of times it's who disagrees with you, I think, that shows the strength in what it is that you're doing. Sometimes people agree with you and you have to realize you're on the wrong side of things when that happens. It's interesting who gave Stephen A. Smith backlash after he apologized. Some people in his base were mad about that.
Angela Yee noticed a pattern.
So now his is experiencing and facing cancel culture because of what he said about Jasmine Crockett. I mean, these are your words. So now that you're being held to account for what you said about a sitting congresswoman, along with saying about the vice president and Serena Williams and all other black women, of course, your feet need to be held to the fire because you keep running your mouth and disrespecting black women. Like, I need you, like I said, go get some Go get it. Find it somewhere. Because I think, it's internal hate. I don't know what it is. And the crazy part is you came from a black woman. And the fact that you can just disrespect black women just because you don't agree with them, that is so chauvinistic. And it's just a move. So I need Stephen Anthony Smith, because that's your name, to take your back to your job. Stop running your mouth about black women and go get some and live your life.
Many went scorched earth.
I utilize words like charlatan because you use your platform, one that you've grown with great success, a very large platform that people listen to. But you use your platform to tear down the people who are actually in our communities doing the work. That is a great responsibility that you have. And so what you hear in my voice, and I want to be extremely clear, what you hear in my voice is not resentment, my guy. I don't resent you at all. In fact, I pray for your success. But what you hear in my voice is a disappointment. I know you stand on the shoulders of strong black men, and you are disappointing us every time you continue to chop down those people who are doing that real work. And so, yeah, I think it's necessary that we call that out. I think it's necessary we have that level of accountability, especially right now while you're appreciating the gaze of those individuals in the White House, the gaze of people like Sean Hannity, Bill O'Reilly, but yet and still you're quiet as a church mouse pissing on cotton when Donald Trump is out here trying to take away our voting rights, when he's putting police and National Guard in our American cities, taking black and brown people out of their homes. Yeah, you're quiet on those things that matter. And when people like Jasmine Crockett or Kamala Harris or even Bakari Sellers speak up and speak out, you rather tear us down than actually talk about the issues that are directly affecting our people. So yeah, I'm not resenting you. I'm more prayerful than you ever would imagine. And so I hold you to that level of expectation. But I think at the end of the day, we're different. I think we're different because you rather those individuals and the Donald and Eric Trumps and the Bill O'Reillys to say, job well done. And I'm looking for people like Marion Berrien and Julian Bond, Judy Richardson, my dad, Cleveland Sellers. I'm looking for the people who actually did the work and whose shoulders we stand upon to be able to look at me when I'm done with my journey and say, you put your heart in it.
Bakari Sellers spoke on it via his YouTube channel as well. At the end of the day, I think it's rather simple. He screws up. He knows he screws up. He doubles down. He triples down. And then when it feels like the walls are closing in, he apologizes. But he didn't really apologize. It was more like, I'm sorry if I offended you. That was essentially his apology. And then throughout that entire video, he talked about how he didn't appreciate the way she governs, which was the first claim in the beginning, because he said, I don't like the way she talks because that doesn't lead to her helping her position. And, you know, you got to meet with a fascist, so you better start appreciating a fascist. Like, it was insane to watch. But it also reminds me of this. He is the same guy who said that he, after Ray Rice slugged his wife, then fiance, now wife, Janae Palmer, in an Atlantic City elevator, he then said, sometimes men are in the wrong, but also I have conversations with women in my family to not provoke men. He would be suspended for that comment. And then what he would do years later is say, yeah, I don't think I should have been suspended. I think what I said was fine. I shouldn't have been suspended at all. He said that recently in a Rolling Stone interview, which was eye-opening, because this man has shown his faults over and over again. Not only can he not predict a winner in the NBA Finals, but he also still claims to be a journalist when he is threatening Kevin Durant on live television. You don't want to make an enemy out of me. I mean, it's incredible. And I know I've said this before, and I'll say it one more time. Look at who is applauding him. It's folks with the Daily Wire, the Daily Caller, Bill O'Reilly, Chris Cuomo. I mean, The list goes on and on and on. He says that he is good friends with Mark Levin. He took a photo and posed for smiles with Sheriff David Clark. We've gone over his atrocities before. That's who you want to be in photos with? Stephen A. does. This man is a Republican. Just take him for what he is.